Thanks so much for stopping by GF Explorers. Today we're going to make Rich's favorite dish, a gluten-free and dairy-free Caesar salad.
That's right. And when Victoria told me we were making my favorite Caesar salad, I had to decide what's my favorite protein to put on it to make it an entree salad. And I had trouble deciding between chicken, salmon, and shrimp. So you know what we're going to do today?
All three?
We're doing all three.
Woohoo!
Caesar salad, 3 ways. Let's get started. All right, so before we can enjoy our Caesar salads, we got some steps to do here. So I've got the proteins in front of me. What I've done is I've taken my blackened seasoning, which we'll put a link to that in the description down below, and I've put it on the shrimp, the salmon, and the chicken. These have been sitting here for a little bit. I've brought them up to room temperature. We always want to grill at room temperature. We also have the dressing to make. So I'm going to take my chicken and my salmon and head to the grill. And Victoria's going to show you how to make the dressing. And she's going to cook the shrimp on the cooktop.
And we're also going to do some croutons. Woo!
I'm going to get going.
Okay, go grill.
All right, guys, while Victoria is making the dressing, we're out at the grill. And I've got my grill nice and hot. I'm going to put my salmon over here on this side of the grill. And I'm going to put my chicken breast on this side. And you can see I pounded these chicken breasts flat. The key here is you want them to cook all at the same time. So you want them all the same thickness, which you can see right across here. And I just did a light pounding to flatten out the thicker parts of the breast. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and let these cook for 3 or 4 minutes. Then we're going to flip them 90 degrees to get that nice crosshatch look that you see. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Okay, we're starting. You can see the color starting to come up here. So we're going to take these guys, turn everything 90 degrees, and we'll let that continue to cook.
The great thing about making homemade Caesar dressing is that you can control all the ingredients that go into it. Typically, if you go to find a Caesar dressing at the grocery store, it's going to have cheese in it because typically Caesar dressing has cheese in it. Now, our Caesar salad has no cheese in it, but it might have some cheese in it later on. So stick around and I'll explain to you. It's a very special cheese that I can eat, but I still kind of consider it sort of dairy-free. But we'll get to that. So making a dressing from scratch, a creamy dressing, generally starts with an egg yolk, which I'm going to put that in. And then what makes Caesar dressing Caesarish are the anchovies, and I've got some minced anchovies. Also have garlic, a little bit of red pepper flake, lemon juice, Worcestershire, and some Dijon mustard. Again, this is very much like making mayonnaise, which I love to make. I haven't done in a while. It is an emulsion between the egg and the oil and the other ingredients. So I have a immersion blender that comes with a whisk attachment, which I love using. I always start on low, and the first thing I'm going to want to do is just mix these together, get them combined so they look good. And the whole key to making this dressing and mayonnaise or any other dressing made like this, like if you make an aioli from scratch, is how slowly you put the oil into the mixture. So I've got all my ingredients mixed quite nicely, so I'm going to slowly drizzle the oil in, just a little bit at a time, because if you go too fast, you will break your dressing, which means your oil will separate from the other ingredients, and you do not want that. Okay, so now that I've got a bit of this mixing, I'm going to go up a little higher. Still drizzling in the oil, and this is a combination of sunflower and olive oil. I'm going to turn it up a little bit more, so we're getting a little bit thicker of a consistency here. And keep drizzling. Okay, you can see now how it's really starting to thicken up, so I can drizzle a little bit more quickly and not have to worry about breaking the sauce at all. And I'm just going to keep going until I'm done with all of the oil. Oh, we're almost there. Okay. we are done, and it is a beautiful looking sauce. I'm going to taste it, see if I need any salt. I'm definitely going to put some pepper in here. Oh, perfect, perfect. Very acidic, which is what you want. Now remember, you're not going to eat this dressing scooping it out of a bowl, but that acidity spread throughout the salad with the proteins in the croutons, it's just going to be absolutely amazing. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in and a little bit of pepper. Okay, this is absolutely perfect. So I'm going to get this in the refrigerator. I love these bowls because they come with lids. So I'm going to put the lid on top, get it in the fridge, get these flavors to meld together a bit. I'm going to cook the shrimp first, and I'm going to roll into getting the croutons ready. I've heated up about a tablespoon, actually probably a little bit less than a tablespoon of sunflower oil in this skillet here. The goal is to get a nice color on my shrimp, so I'm going to get them into the pan, and I'm not going to flip them or move them because I want them to have some great color. Everybody into the pan. I want a nice flat layer as best I can, and just let them cook. Okay, you're going to know when to flip these guys when you start to see the doneness and the pinkness coming up the sides of the shrimp, which I am now, so I'm going to flip them over. They're not going to take them too much longer on the other side. You can see I've got nice color and crispiness on these. They're beautiful. They're going to taste so amazing. They're going to bring so much flavor to the Caesar salad. The Caesar salad has great flavor in itself. This is just going to add another level of flavor. Okay, I'm calling these guys done. I'm going to get them out of the pan into a bowl. Okay, and now I'm going to I've got the heat on about medium. Going to get the croutons. Now, if you made our stuffing mix back at Thanksgiving, we told you you can use them for croutons and other uses. These are extra herb stuffing cubes that we made, so I've thawed them out, and now I'm going to warm them up on medium in the skillet, and then we're going to add a little bit of sunflower oil and butter and kind of get them a little bit crispy and toasty. Okay, they're starting to get warm through, so I'm going to get a little bit, I'm going to go with olive oil this time. I'm going to get a little olive oil up in here. Turn them up a little and swirl it around. The olive oil is going to kind of soften them up a little bit. We don't want them too soft though, and it's going to add some flavor and allow some color. Get these all spread out. You're going to want to watch these kind of closely. It's very similar to toasting nuts. If you walk away, you could have really burnt bread or croutons. Okay, at this stage, I'm starting to see a few brown bits at the bottom of the pan, which means we're getting some toastiness. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit, let it keep toasting. And then I'm going to get the earth balance in the pan to give it a little bit of a buttery flavor, because there's nothing better than buttery croutons. Oh, you're not allowed to leave the pan. This is actually going to help it get a little more color as well. Okay, you can see it's starting to come together, to getting browner. Okay, I tested one, had to. Hopefully it'll only be one. Nice and crispy on the outside, still got a little bit of a chew on the inside, and that wonderful flavor that the earth balance brought to it. I'm going to call these done, get them into a bowl, and we're going to go assemble the salad.
Okay guys, we're going to go ahead and flip our salmon. Oh yeah, look at that. You can see that blackening spice that's on there caramelizing just a little bit. Since we've got some flame up on there, I'm actually going to move this over to here so it doesn't get too much darker. That's looking great. And oh yeah, look at those chicken breasts. You can see the back of my grill isn't as hot as the front. So I'm going to move this guy back and move this guy up here in the front so it gets a little bit more heat. We're going to let these go for about 3 or 4 more minutes, and then they're coming off the grill. We'll see you back inside.
Okay, so let's talk dairy-free. Now, obviously, dairy-free means no dairy. Let's say about 2 years into me being dairy-free, going dairy-free, I had a friend who is also dairy-free, and she said to me, Victoria, can you do sheep and goat cheese? And I'm like, I never even thought about that. And I said, maybe, I don't know. And then years later, I still hadn't tried it. I was scared. And then Rich and I met, and he's like, hey, Victoria, can you do sheep or goat cheese if you can't do anything cow, which I am totally, cow is off the table for me. And so I tried it, and I realized that my body does tolerate just a small amount of goat or sheep cheese. So for Caesar salad, it's typically Parmesan. cheese is what goes into it. So instead, I have some Pecorino Romano, and if you look on the label, and this is from the Murray's Cheese Shop at a Kroger store, there's a little sheep there. It's not a cow, it's a sheep, and if it was a goat, it would be a goat. So if you're looking for sheep or goat cheese, if you can tolerate that, but you can't tolerate goat, then use that in this recipe. If you can't, then you can go cheeseless. I will add a little bit of kosher salt to the romaine here, which I'm not going to do because I am putting the cheese in. But this Caesar is so amazing with or without cheese. But I'm going to treat myself, so I'm getting a little Pecorino Romano. And if you can do some cheeses as your dairy-free, I find that the more aged the cheese, I usually don't have an issue, but in small doses, like very, very aged Parmesan sometimes is okay. I have the romaine in the bowl here. I prefer to hand tear it for Caesar salad. Some salads I like to slice it, but for Caesar I just want earthiness, that kind of rusticness there by hand tearing. So that's in there, nothing is on it. And many Caesar salads do not have red onion, but Rich loves red onion in his Caesar salad. So I've sliced some red onions and I'm going to get those in here. I typically like to make the green part of it and then have everybody just plate. So most everything's going here. I will not put the meat in here. So now I'm going to add some of the Pecorino Romano, which I've grated. I'm not going to put a ton because we're going to leave this for serving because I don't want a ton, because if I get too much, well, that will not be pretty. And now a ton of freshly cracked pepper. And I say a ton, it's whatever you like. I like to put quite a bit in here. And I also like to put some on top of the salad as it's plated. So I'm going to get a tong in here and mix this up. You could use your hands, I usually do, but because of the cheese in here, I think I'm just going to use a tong. And as you mix this up, you can tell if you're going to need a little bit more of everything. And I'm going to need a little more red onion. And you could put more cheese in here, but like I said, I'm going a little bit light. And if Rich wants more cheese, he can put it on his individual salad. And so you have a choice here with the croutons, if you have any left, because I've been eating on these. I always make extra just because I eat on them. You could put the croutons in here and mix it up, or you could use them for the individual salads as you plate. I am going to put a few of them in here and then save some for the top of the salad. And again, you can use as many or as few of these croutons if you like. If you want a crouton-heavy salad, use more, obviously. Okay, so our salad greens are ready. So now we're going to build a salad, and we're going to have to decide which protein.
I'm back from the grill. I have our chicken, our salmon, and our shrimp, and oh wow, they smell fantastic. So the blackening spice that I have on all three of these proteins goes really, really well with the Caesar dressing. All of the flavors combined kind of taste really, really amazing together. And one of the things I like to call my blackening spice is Rich's not so spicy blackening spice. So when you look at the recipe, if you decide you need it hotter, you can put in chili powder, paprika, roasted red pepper flakes, etc., to make it a little bit spicy. But this less spicy version, number one, it kind of caramelizes the proteins a little bit. You can see we got some great color on them, but then it also blends really, really well with the Caesar dressing, and I think we need to make a salad.
Okay, well, which one are we choosing?
So, well, since we're just to sample, we're just going to eat out of one bowl. Why don't we go with shrimp?
Okay, that sounds good.
So while Victoria's plating up, one of the things that's great about this is if you grill up these three proteins on a weekend, on a Sunday evening, you've got a nice batch of your Caesar salad. You've got Caesar salad here for the week for multiple people. So one day you can have chicken, one day you can have salmon, the next day you can have grilled shrimp. So this is a great weeknight meal.
I'm just grabbing these with my fingers because I can.
And then I like black pepper. Can I add a little more black pepper on there?
Sure. I was going to do that. Okay, and now I'm going to drizzle on the dressing, which is such a great consistency. I do like a lot of dressing. Are you ready to dig in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let me get a piece of shrimp and crouton. Okay, that's a big mouthful.
Oh, that dressing.
It's just so good. It's got so much acid, so much punch, but it's creamy at the same time. Oh, it's absolutely perfect.
And that dressing is better than anything you will buy in a grocery store in a bottle.
Yeah,
sure.
And it does not have dairy in it. So I've looked for quite a few Caesars, and they all have cheese in it. They all have dairy. So off the table for me, but I prefer to make my own anyways.
And even as a person who loves cheese and has cheese on their salad, the dressing is so flavorful that if you left the cheese off here, you wouldn't be missing anything.
Right, a note, and I've done that. I don't always have cheese, it's a treat. So don't think that you can't make this salad without putting the Pecorino Romano or the Parmesan in. You're gonna love it anyways. But again, add a little bit of kosher salt to your greens because that's the Pecorino Romano or the Parmesan brings a lot of salt to that. So you're just gonna wanna do that and you'll be fine.
So we can't forget our other proteins. The shrimp is delicious. If you're gonna make a salad with the salmon, because the salmon flakes up nice and neat, when you push the fork into it, I like to put a whole piece of salmon right over the top of your salad. And the chicken breast, I would slice that up thin and lay it sliced across your salad as well. So there you have it, guys. Caesar salad, 3 ways: shrimp, salmon, chicken. I guess you could call it 4 ways if you decided to make it a side salad and not put a protein on
Yeah,
it.
you could be naked. Yeah, or it could be naked, or you could be naked and it could be naked. So yeah, so Caesar salad 4 ways. Thanks so much for watching. A link to the full recipe was in the description below, and you can find that recipe as well as all of our other recipes at gfexplorers.com. And if you haven't, please subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. That really helps us out. And until next time, happy eating. Okay, this shrimp is so good.